It's been quite a while since we all agreed that Drake is a terrible loser, but these recent moves he's been making have only solidified the fact that he might never recover from the mess he created. Ever since he lost the beef with Kendrick, it feels like he's been spiraling further down the rabbit hole uncontrollably. And let's be real, in over 50 years of hip-hop's rich history, have we ever seen where a rapper found it so difficult to stomach the loss of a rap beef? For a moment, I thought Drake withdrawing that petty petition was a sign that he was finally accepting defeat. Turns out, I was dead wrong. Instead of regrouping and finding his groove, Drake is out here trying to prove to his critics that he is indeed the most embarrassing and shameless figure hip-hop has ever seen. How else can you explain withdrawing a spiteful petition only to reduce it with an actual defamation lawsuit? This isn't just unprecedented in hip-hop, it's outright ridiculous. Imagine telling someone that the reason Drake filed a defamation lawsuit is because he lost a rap beef. It's laughable. It's also painfully obvious more than ever that Drake doesn't understand the rules of the game or the essence of hip-hop culture. Maybe he is the Karen of hip-hop after all. As for Drake's diehard fans still clinging to hope for a comeback, it's time to let go. This 81-page defamation lawsuit against UMG and Kendrick's Not Like Us could very well be the nail in the coffin for Drake's career. Win or lose, this move guarantees one thing: he's lost the respect of the culture. Looks like Drizzy's reign is officially over. But before we dive into the insanity of this lawsuit, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any updates on this wild drama. Now let's talk about how desperate Drake must be to file a defamation lawsuit spanning 81 pages. 81 whole pages! It's official. Drake has declared war on his own label, but that's not all. He's also trying to rewrite history by coming after Kendrick's Not Like Us. With the way things are shaping up, he probably wants the track taken down and erased from existence. If he really thinks banning the song will make people forget about it, then he's even more naive than we thought. It's painfully clear that Not Like Us is living rent-free in Drake's head. The song has pushed him to the point of self-destruction, and every move he makes just further damages his image. And let's give Kendrick his flowers. Shout out to him for giving us a certified classic. Every day the song's legacy grows stronger, and if Drake's bizarre behavior since its release tells us anything, it's that Not Like Us is one of the most impactful diss tracks in hip-hop history. If you thought Drake's petition was weird, I can only imagine what you must think about this defamation lawsuit. It's next level absurd. Everything he's done in the past few months has only validated everything K-Dot said about him in those diss tracks. It's almost like he's always eager to prove him right. But the crazy thing is, the way Drake's been playing the victim card lately is mind-boggling. Claiming that Not Like Us is part of some grand conspiracy to ruin his credibility and finances is just another lame example and excuse to avoid admitting he lost a feud he started. At this point, Drake's victim complex is so well developed, maybe he should consider a career in Hollywood. Acting might be a better fit because it's becoming clear that rapping isn't working out anymore. You won't believe some of the claims in this 81-page lawsuit filed by Drake's legal team. Practically every single bar on the song was scrutinized and alleged to be aimed at destroying Drake's reputation. They even went as far as claiming that the instrumental and the catchy hook on Not Like Us are all part of UMG's master plan to tank Drake's career. And the deeper you dive into this lawsuit, the more bizarre it gets. Some of the statements are outright ridiculous. It's hard to fathom how Drake decided that risking his legacy and whatever is left of his career just to prove a point was a good idea. He's essentially ostracizing himself from the culture that gave him everything he has today. Maybe Drake enjoys breaking new ground and setting new records, but this kind of precedent he's setting by going after his label and targeting a diss track is nothing to be proud of. Every single page of this lawsuit is a slap in the face of hip-hop culture. It's a blatant disregard for the genre's essence and history, and it shows that the self-proclaimed biggest rapper in hip-hop doesn't have a clue or doesn't care about what the culture truly represents. At this point, it doesn't matter how you want to put it. Drake has more than proven that he is really not like us. It's wild to think that one of the best-selling hip-hop artists ever can be so disconnected from the rules and norms of the genre. Or maybe he knows the rules and just refuses to play by them. Either way, it's clear now that hip-hop doesn't mean the same to Drake as it does to the likes of Kendrick and J. Cole. Drake has been dodging accountability since this beef escalated, and nearly a year later, he's still at it. His level of denial is mind-blowing. Did he really think we'd forget how this all started? He was the one feeling untouchable, throwing sneak shots at K-Dot, who wasn't even interested at first. Let's not forget that this same Drake, who is now filing a defamation lawsuit, was the one daring Kendrick to get in the ring and drop more diss tracks. He was practically begging for the smoke, but now that he's gotten the beatdown of a lifetime, he's hiding behind a lawsuit. If you followed this feud from the beginning, you'll also find it difficult to wrap your head around the victim narrative Drake is pushing in court. Remember when he dropped Tailor-Made Freestyle and claimed in Heart Part 6 that he fed fake information to Kendrick's team, saying he knew everything Kendrick would say? Now look at him, in court crying over that same fake info he supposedly expected. The irony is wild. What's even crazier is that during his back and forth with Kendrick, Drake never once played the victim. He went just as hard, dropping diss tracks full of wild claims. Did he really forget the outrageous stuff he said about Kendrick and his family on Family Matters? Because if he did forget, we didn't. The funniest part of this lawsuit is how Drake's team even got basic facts wrong. For example, they claim Kendrick was born and raised in Oakland. Like, seriously? Mistakes like that make you question the credibility of the entire lawsuit. If they can't get something as simple as Kendrick's hometown right, what else did they fumble in those 81 pages? The way they twisted and misinterpreted the lyrics to Not Like Us just to fit their narrative is downright laughable. It's almost as if they forgot that hip-hop has evolved to the point where fans dissect lyrics and value the messages behind every bar. If Drake genuinely can't grasp Kendrick's wordplay on Not Like Us, you have to wonder, did he even write his own diss tracks? Let's be real, this defamation suit could set a dangerous precedent for rap beefs moving forward. Sure, not everyone will stoop to the level of pettiness Drake has reached, but this lawsuit could fundamentally change the competitive landscape of hip-hop, and that's bad for everyone. For someone who's been in the game for over a decade, Drake should be embarrassed by this blatant attempt to stifle creative expression. Taking a rap beef from the studio to the courtroom is almost unthinkable. It's no surprise so many fans and artists are struggling to wrap their heads around it. How does someone who claims to be the face of hip-hop try to sabotage the cultural heritage that's been central to the genre for decades? Rap feuds are a cornerstone of hip-hop. Every era has had its legendary beefs, full of wild insults and brutal bars. Never before has a rapper taken their grievances to court over lyrics. Until now, with Drake. It's so wild to me that one man's ego and refusal to take accountability could potentially reshape how rap lyrics are created and perceived. If every rapper started filing lawsuits over diss tracks, what would be the point of being in a competitive genre? Thankfully, it's unlikely anyone else will file a defamation lawsuit after seeing how this is unraveling for Drake, but let's be honest, this should have never even happened in the first place. The fact that Drake went after content creators and streamers for reacting to Not Like Us is proof that he's truly hit rock bottom. He even alleged in the lawsuit that Kai Cenat and other streamers who reacted to the track were part of a larger conspiracy masterminded by UMG to take him down. Think about how absurd that is, suing content creators over their reactions to a song. What's even crazier is that Drake was the one who called Kai Cenat to stay on stream when he dropped Family Matters. Now he's spinning a completely different story, claiming Kai was part of a conspiracy. At this point, anyone who argues that Drake isn't self-centered is either blind to the truth or hopelessly biased. There's no narrative Drake won't twist to serve his own interests. His ability to forget past alliances is almost comical. It's like he's rewriting history in real time. Nearly every claim in this lawsuit contradicts what Drake used to stand for before this feud. It's as if this beef turned him into the worst version of himself, and now he can't stop. Honestly, this lawsuit feels like a waste of time. Most of the allegations are baseless and easy to disprove, but who knows? Maybe Drake has some last-minute tricks up his sleeves. The way social media is roasting Drake over this lawsuit is unlike anything we've ever seen. Even at the peak of his feud with Kendrick, the mockery wasn't this intense. This lawsuit is shaping up to be one of the most foolish decisions a rapper has ever made following a rap beef. It might just go down in hip-hop history as the most embarrassing fallout from a feud, and the worst part? Nobody's breaking that record anytime soon except maybe Drake himself. Amid all the roasting, some of Drake's diehard fans are still fiercely defending him. Many of them argue that he is only fighting in court because Kendrick's lyrics on Not Like Us worsened his personal and family life. But here's the real question. What's Kendrick supposed to make of that? Should he have filed a lawsuit over the things Drake said about him and his family on Family Matters? These claims from Drake's camp are nothing more than a ploy to manipulate public opinion and gain sympathy. But let's not forget that Drake was just as complicit, if not more so. If we're holding everyone accountable, we have to start with the instigator himself. If you've been following this beef closely, you'll remember that Drake was the one who brought family into it first. Kendrick warned him multiple times to keep things clean and not play dirty, but Drake wasn't having it. Back then, he felt like he was winning. This perfectly highlights Drake's hypocritical nature, how he twists or outright denies the truth when it doesn't fit the narrative he's trying to sell. The same guy who constantly claims he doesn't care what people think or say about his personal life is now in court over the lyrics of a song that didn't even name drop him directly. No one forced Drake to publicize every aspect of his life every other day. He wanted the spotlight, but he doesn't seem to want the inevitable consequence that comes with living under that spotlight. A lot of rappers keep their family lives private for good reason. Trying to change the narrative now that he's feeling the heat is nothing short of ridiculous. Despite the disrespectful things Drake said about Kendrick and his wife on Family Matters, not once have we seen her post a tweet or make a public complaint. Kendrick has always been a private man. He rarely posts on social media unless it's something meaningful, so there's very little information about his personal life online. Drake knows this, but still chooses to fire shots at Kendrick's family. Now that K-Dot reciprocated the same energy, he's gone crying to the judge. And don't let us forget that UMG has fired back at Drake's lawsuit saying, quote, "Not only are these claims untrue, but the notion that we would seek to harm the reputation of any artist, let alone Drake, is illogical. We have invested massively in his music, and our employees around the world have worked tirelessly for many years to help him achieve a historic commercial and financial success." This statement feels like a direct clapback at Drake, but the real bombshell came later when UMG added, quote, "Throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used UMG to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventionally outrageous back-and-forth rap battles to express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and seek damages from UMG for distributing that artist's music," end quote. That's not just a response. It feels laced with subtle threats and veiled warning. It's almost as if UMG is reminding Drake of how much they've done for his career while subtly letting him know they're not to be trifled with. UMG is arguably the most powerful record label in the industry, making them a formidable opponent for Drake. For those diehard fans who think this case is going to be a walk in the park, think again. The odds of Drake winning this lawsuit, given the baseless nature of most of his claims, are incredibly slim. The fact that so many people are siding with a record label over Drake speaks volumes about how absurd his actions seem. He never should have even filed a petition, let alone the lawsuit. The next few weeks are definitely going to be intriguing. This beef's aftermath is far from over. If Drake thinks he can get a court to stop Kendrick from performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, he's in for a rude awakening. Otherwise, over 100,000 fans will be screaming "They Not Like Us," and who knows how much of that will rattle him. So back to you hip-hop fans, what's your take on this whole defamation lawsuit Drake just filed? Do you think he stands a chance against UMG, and could he actually stop Kendrick from performing the song? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates on this thrilling saga. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.